What's on the vice president's schedule today?
Well, she's traveling and talking to voters and getting her message out there to the American people, something that she's been doing from the very start of this campaign and something that she certainly did when she was President Biden's running mate as vice president. But look, you just mentioned the speech she's going to be giving in
But that's right. I was asking about today, and I don't think she's got any campaign events on the schedule today, does she?
Well, she and Governor Walz have been traveling across the country. They hit nearly every battleground state last week. On the campaign trail, they raised $36 million within the first 24 hours of Governor Walz joining the ticket. And what she's going to be doing Friday is taking her economic message directly to the voters in North Carolina. I certainly don't want to get in front of exactly what she's going to say, but she's going to talk a little bit about how she's going to make sure that she's putting consumers first as part of her economic plan. She's going to take on corporate price gougers. She's going to take on junk fees. And that's something that, John, she did when she was Attorney General of California. Something she continued to do as the United States Senator of California. So she's going to be taking that message out to voters, and I look forward to seeing more of what she's going to say on Friday.
I think we all do, and I'll ask you more about that in just a second. The reason I was asking about today is because it seems like she has time, if she wanted, to do an interview with a member of the media or do a news conference, correct? There does appear to be that time if she wanted.
Well, look, she has said on the campaign trail that she would be doing an interview at some point. She said that, I think, last week during a rope line or when she was talking to reporters. But look, what is important here, John, is that she is taking her message directly to the American people. She hit a number of battleground states. I think we had 15,000 people in Detroit last week, 12 to 13,000 in Nevada. She's been taking her message to the voters and drawing large crowds. So she's actually having those direct conversations.
But not today. All I'm saying is not today. She could do an interview today, I would think, because she's not out there today.
Well, look, she's taking her message directly to voters. And just because she doesn't have an interview schedule on her public schedule doesn't mean that she's not taking her message directly to voters.
It's beginning to bubble up. We're starting to see the media look like their underwear are just a little bit too tight. They're kind of over the Kamala Harris BS. And they're definitely over the Kamala Harris surrogates talking the same blah, 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 ignoring the question. John Berman asked her. She could do an interview today, right? She's got nothing on her schedule. Well, she's out there talking to the American people. That's not what I asked you. Why can't she come here and do an interview right now? Well, she's taking her message directly to the people. And she just parroted the same thing over and over and over. Unfortunately for Kamala Harris, that's beginning to wear a little thin. And it's escalating. It's not getting easier for her. It's actually getting worse for her. Forget the polls. I'll show you on Friday's show why that means nothing. But at this point, the internal numbers that they must be seeing must be telling them, hey, what do we do here? Because they seem frozen in time. Yeah, that stuff worked. Yeah, this honeymoon phase, oh, it's funny. We're not going to, tell anybody anything. We're just going to pretend like you have accomplishments and pretend like everything you're seeing is organic when we all know it's not. We all know it's fake. If you tell the union to make sure you bring everybody to this thing, fine. You got to sign up for an invitation. Make sure, because you're basically counting the people so that you have enough there. They're not open rallies. They're not just people just showing up organically. Everything you're seeing is a facade. It is completely choreographed. And now her problem is the media doesn't like looking stupid. They'll cover for you if you give them reason to cover for you. If you make them look at least a little bit good. But right now, you're making the media look dumb. Absolutely dumb. And they can't keep covering for you. It's going on almost a month now where you've basically been this puppet, in terms of you're running for president. Oh, I'm running for president. Yay! But you have said nothing. I'm pretty sure that the reason why Donald Trump did his rally in North Carolina today was to get to North Carolina before she gives her financial policy and her program or platform this Friday. So he's given his. Here's all the things I'm going to do. You've already stolen one thing from me and tried to pretend like it was your idea, the whole no tax on tips things. But if what this woman just told the guy from CNN, she doesn't have anything. Well, she's going to show the middle class how they can do something in contrast against Trump. And no, just tell us what you're going to do. Trump told us what he's going to do. What are you going to do? Specifically lay out what is your plan. So it seems to me as though she's going to come out Friday and basically cry against the big bad billionaires and millionaires. And, we just want to take care of the middle class. And the only retort that Trump has to keep saying to her, why haven't you done it? You see, she's trying to distance herself from Joe Biden. It's not going to work. And Biden actually, I think, submarined her by saying, hey, we've been intricately entwined on every single policy, including Bidenomics. Kind of hard now to go, hey, I wasn't involved with that dude. Oh, that old dude, he had some things I didn't like. Yeah, go ahead and tell that. Tell that to the American people that you just didn't have anything to do when everybody knows that you did. So this is the third show of the day. Whew. I need to contact Trump's campaign. I say, hey, listen, you need to tell me what this old man is drinking. Because he's got tiger energy. He just keeps going and going and going. And he's demanding everybody, you got to keep up with me. If you want to be a part of this thing, you need to keep up. So I get to the gym, come back home, get in the swimming pool, start doing some exercises, have the wife slap me around a little bit, get back out there and do this third show because you got to do your 7 o'clock show. Last night I had to take off. And I had a little itch in my throat. And I think it was just because I've been talking so damn much. Not sick at all. I think I just talked myself to like, hey, just rest your throat. Okay, did so. So tonight, we're going to talk as to how the walls are closing in on Miss Harris. And they indeed are closing in from people she probably didn't expect the walls to close in from. Not from Trump. Trump's been on attack. So she understands that. But now she's got the media snapping at her heels. And she's got some celebrities snapping at her heels. Black celebrities. Prominent black celebrities. Charlamagne the God. Stephen A. Smith. These are people with huge audiences. And they're saying, what's going on? This isn't cool. You're dodging this man. It's appearing at this point that you're, dare I say it, afraid of him. This isn't how to do business. You can't hide. You are now basically taking on that persona for which he has been saying that you're unqualified and you're just afraid. You're afraid of the big time. And all these people have been propping her up over and over and over. And now it's becoming a situation where she's got to deliver the goods herself. And I don't think she can. In fact, I know she can't. Otherwise, she'd be doing it. See, that's going to be her problem moving forward for everything. Hey, if you could do it, why aren't you doing it? What were you doing, on vacation? Just decide I'm not going to talk to the press? They're not worthy? These are the same people who have been glowing over you for a month, falling over themselves to make you look great, and now you're giving them the Heisman? From all people, listen to this from Jim Acosta on CNN.
Would it kill you guys to have a press conference? Why hasn't she had a press conference?
Listen, the Vice President and Governor Walz have been busy crisscrossing this country since the launch of this campaign and adding Governor Walz to the ticket. You saw the ways in which they went across the battleground states last week, generating rallies of thousands, 10,000 here, 15,000 there.
He didn't ask you that. He didn't say where she'd been going. This is a news network. They've got trucks. They got plane tickets. They got cameras. They got cameras in cities around the country. everything you just said has nothing to do with the question he just asked you. Why isn't she doing a press conference? Oh, well, she's out there traveling around. Didn't ask you that. I don't care. If she said, hey, listen, I'd like to talk to Jim Acosta on Tuesday at 4 o'clock, Jim Acosta would have his ass there. Doesn't matter. You're dodging, and people can see it. Even Jim Acosta's face is telling you, this guy's full of crap.
But
Michael, you know, a campaign rally is not a press conference. Do you mind if I cut in? I mean, you know, a campaign rally.
You know, it's funny. You know how they always interrupt Trump and push back? At least Jim Acosta's pushing back. He's saying it with a smile. What he really wants to say is, don't bullshit a bullshitter. Excuse my language. You know, I know what you're saying, dude. Stop. Just stop. It got you on my show, and I'm asking you a flipping question.
He's not a press conference. Why hasn't she had a press conference? She's the vice president. She can handle the questions. Why not do it?
Second time he's asked him. And under about 36 seconds. Second time, he came right back to the same question. What do you think this dude's going to do? He's going to go right back to the same answer.
Oh, we absolutely are going to do it. You hear her take questions as she's out on the stump. And as she said last week, we're going to be having a sit-down interview here before the end of the month.
Before the end of the month. So she has to schedule her press conferences way in advance because she's so busy. So you're telling a reporter, albeit it's Jim Acosta, you're telling him, hey, listen, we'll get to you before August 31st. We hope. We're going to try and get you in someplace, somebody, somewhere. But we need this time right now. This is more important than talking to the press, which everyone in the press is now looking at her and going, what are you doing? This doesn't make any sense.
What she's going to be focused on and what this campaign is going to be focused on is communicating directly with the voters that are actually going to decide the pathway to 270 electoral votes. That's why she
can you commit to a press conference this week?
Third question. Can she commit to a press conference this week?
That's why we're doing a bus tour in Pennsylvania as we head into Chicago. And it's why we'll sit down for an interview before the end of the month.
And he goes right back to the same answer. End of the month. Nope, we're not going to talk to you. She's hiding. She is absolutely hiding, and somewhere, somehow, they have determined that this is some sort of a strategy that they've come up with, that they've concocted. Maybe they took it from, you know, when Dementia Joe ran his campaign from the basement, and like, hey, listen, we'll do this all over again. Except there's no, you know what? There's no, you know, pandemic going on. So she's got no excuse, and it's starting to run dry on people, and people are like, this doesn't make any sense.
To make sure that we can have a deep dive conversation about the vision that Kamala Harris has for where she wants to take this country and the contrast that we're going to have with Donald Trump. We're going to have plenty of opportunities to do that.
But the contrast with Donald Trump right now is you look like you're hiding. This man is out everywhere. He's everywhere. He's doing campaign stops. He's doing rallies. He's getting shot. He's doing press conferences. That contrast that you were hoping for doesn't look good for you, bro. Doesn't look good at all because people can see, whoa, this 78-year-old man is out here doing all this stuff. This 78-year-old man is crisscrossing the country, talking to people, putting out tweets, doing all kinds of different things, meeting with Elon Musk, meeting with Aiden Ross, doing all kinds of... Where's your girl? Where's your girl? And all you can say, oh, by the end of the month. What the hell do you need to the end of the month? I get Donald Trump's schedule every single day when something pops up. And that's how I knew there's a press conference tomorrow. I'm like, I plan on going to the gym. 4:30, if there's a feed, I need to grab it. Got to do what you got to do. And you're telling me, your girl, hey, sometime near the end of the month, we're not really sure yet. We don't have a confirmed network. We don't have a confirmed interview. Nothing. Just we'll let you know.
Throughout the
Michael, but one interview by the end of the month.
This month, not that campaign.
I don't want to.
Fourth time he's going to ask him. This is only it's a 1 minute and 44 second clip. This is the fourth time he's asked him in a minute and 44 seconds.
You know, belabor this, but one interview before the end of the month. I mean, that's not a lot. I mean, can you commit to a press conference before the end of the month?
we will commit to directly engage with the voters that are actually going to decide this election. And that is going to be complete with rallies, with sit-down interviews, with press conferences, with all the digital assets that we have at our disposal.
That's a no. He basically told Jim Acosta, nah, I can't commit to you, bro. He laughed at him, actually. Laughed at him. Learned a long time ago, even though it's CNN, is you don't piss off people. In the old saying back in the days of newspapers, you don't piss off people who buy ink by the barrel. Remember, they used to write stuff and print stuff on machines, actual printing machines, where they used to have to buy the ink. You don't piss off people who buy ink by the barrel, because they can bury you. They've made you. And she doesn't seem to acknowledge that. You understand, the only reason why you are where you are right now is because for the last month, they have done nothing but lick your boots. They have if it wasn't for what the media has done thus far, you wouldn't even be in any poll. You'd be wiped out, totally done. So she must think in her heart of hearts, or whoever's, basically choreographing all this, is we got the media to basically prop you up. Now, when we do start our campaign and we go to the DNC next week and we act like we're big king crap, and we say, Donald Orange Man, bad guy, and millionaires and billionaires and Project 25 and all the other crap that you say, fine people, it's all going to come out. That's all they got. And you're going to expect the media to pump that up for you. You're just going to keep doing that. Instead of someone saying to you, what are you going to do about the border? What are you going to do about prices of gas? And are you going to drill? Are you going to allow ANWR to get opened up? You're going to do this. You're going to do that. He has put her in checkmate. She has to answer these questions. It's over. And I think maybe she wanted to get to the DNC to actually be nominated before she did anything, before she screwed up. You see, what happens next week, and when she goes to the DNC, the official nomination happens, meaning they can't yank her. See, right now she screwed up and she tanked, like Tim Walz is doing, and it's going to get even worse for Tim Walz. But let me hold on. Let me time out. Tim Walz just announced a bus tour through the state of Pennsylvania. I wouldn't want to be that guy. You're going to see veterans at every single place that he goes tearing him a new one. They are going to just shred this guy at every single stop. I don't know who planned that, but that was pretty stupid. You're gonna have a bus tour go through Pennsylvania where there's tons of veterans there riding Harleys and everything else, and you think they're not going to follow you and just disrupt every single thing that you do? It's bad enough you got the free Palestine people who are going to be in Chicago next week. So anyway, I digress. There'll be time to talk about that. We're talking about Kamala tonight. Kamala, in my belief, I think she's trying to cement her nomination. Don't screw up until they gavel you in as the nominee. You screw up this week or last week, they may sit back and go, hey, let's toss her out. Let's find somebody else. But now she's going to be going to the convention and going to give a stupid speech about Project 2025 and how Trump wants to take your reproductive rights from you, and he's trying to ban baby removal, and lie, and lie. And they're going to let her lie, and lie. But that's not an interview. Again, that's a teleprompter, a speech that she's reading as she's turning. So that, Donald Trump said one time that, he wants to remove babies, and she's just gonna read. They have tried to put her in a position where that is enough, and it's not. And now people are starting to call her out. Let you listen to Mr. Charlamagne the God. So let me set this up. Charlamagne, successful black man. He's a DJ / was a rapper and now has his own radio show called The Breakfast Club. And he's quite influential. He's a big audience, really big audience, national radio syndicated show. And, you know, he's in the tank. She can count on him. But even he's telling her, hey, girl, you got to do something. Listen to this interview with Jonathan Karl of ABC.
What do you think of the Tim Walz pick? You didn't mention his name just then.
Oh, I didn't know him.
Yeah.
I just
Most of America didn't know him.
I just found out about him over the last couple of weeks. At first, I was a little bit disappointed. Like, I knew we knew she needed a DEI hire, right? We know she needed.
So Tim Walz is the DEI hire on this ticket.
We know
diversity, equity, inclusion.
She needed a white male to make America comfortable. It is what it is. No need for us to, you know, act crazy about it.
What? Did you just announce on ABC News that Tim Walz is a DEI hire? Are you serious? Did you just say, hey, we picked a token white guy because we needed to? How did not everybody in the media pick up on that and go, whoa. He's a DEI hire? Did she tell you that? She had to pick him because he was a white guy? Again, not the best person for the job, a white guy. We had to bring in a DEI hire. Did you really just say that? Nobody jumped all over that? So it's bad enough that we know that Kamala was a DEI hire. Now we have a DEI vice president. So we've got two people running on the Democrat side who aren't qualified, who are only there because of their race. One, because she's somewhat black, and the other one, because he's white. That's what he just admitted. That's what Jonathan Karl just heard, and he didn't push back at all. I wanted you to hear that. 2 DEI candidates? That's who you have? That's who the press have been protecting? 2 people who are completely unqualified and who are only there because of their race. God help us. God help us where we are at this point. You have got to be freaking kidding me. I mean, seriously, she didn't sit down with her committee and go, okay, get me the best person out there. Well, Tim Walz, he's over here, he's white. He likes Transformers. Sounds good. It's a crap show. I was going to use a stronger word, but I don't want to offend anybody. A DEI hire as the president and a DEI hire as a vice president, and we're all supposed to be okay with that. That's stolen valor, the horse shake, all the different stuff, and you're telling us that's our presidential team, and you're worried about Trump? Honey, if you somehow win or they install you any way they can, you guys need to buy plane tickets and get the hell out of here. You are kidding me. Absolutely kidding me. Let's continue.
You know what it is.
Does she need to show some distance between herself and Biden or some differentiation? So how does she do that?
Wait. So the woman who only is in the position she's in is because Joe Biden hired her as a DEI hire. Now you're telling me she needs to put distance between her and Dementia Joe. How exactly are you going to sell that to the American people when she and he have said, I was the last one in the room. Oh, we talk about everything. Now she's going to put him on mothballs and say, I wasn't involved in that stuff. That's something a DEI hire would actually try to pull off.
By talking about what she's going to do for the next 4 years. Like, I know that, they want to keep her paired to, the successes that they had while she was vice president.
Whoa. I'm sorry. I need to check my notes. Successes? What successes? What success does she want to extricate herself from so that she can be her own girl? These people are delusional. I mean, absolutely delusional.
And that's cool, the harp on a couple of those, because a lot of those things, were her idea, like, the cap on, the $35 cap on the insulin, things like that. So that's good to say, hey, I was the person behind that, but you still got to tell America what you're going to do for the next 4 years. Because like I said, the job's not finished. Like, this isn't no slam dunk victory. Like, there's still people who have to be, incentivized to get up off the couch. Like, both.
Ain't gonna happen. If you can't, Charlamagne the guy, you're good friends with her, and you can't name any accomplishments, how do you expect anybody else to?
Are earned, not given.
You wrote about her in your book. You said, when I endorsed her in 2020, it was because of my private conversations with her, not because of the persona she presents to the public. The vice president needs to talk to the world the way she talks to me.
That's right.
So what is that like? What's different?
I mean, I think we've seen it the last couple of weeks. You just brought up, what she said to the protesters. That's the real her. And I think.
Oh, so what you want is for her to display more black woman energy. Who you talking to, Mr. Protester? And when her head went and did all this stuff, that's what you want her to show to people? Good luck with that.
A lot of times, in politics, man, especially when you a woman of color, they don't want to be perceived as the angry black woman. But
how do you get away from that perception? Because there's a whole lot of black men out there right now. A whole lot of black men who saw what she did. That perception became reality very quickly. And then people, oh, hey, pump your brakes on that stuff. So you think that's going to fly. You think that, people should just let that go. Let her have the tude. Yeah, good luck with that one, too.
I mean, look, we got a lot to be angry about right now. Like,
we have a lot to be angry with right now. That kind of stuff makes me ashamed to be associated with people of color. This guy is probably a multimillionaire. Kamala Harris is a multimillionaire. Barack Obama is a multimillionaire. Most of the people he hangs out with are multimillionaires. What in the hell are you angry about? Tell me specifically, Charlamagne the God, what you or she should be angry about. Because most people can't figure it out. If you got millions of dollars at your disposal, you're successful, you got a big radio show, she's the vice president, what in the hell are you angry about? And no, you don't speak for all of us. Most of us, no, not even close.
Really do. And I think that people see that and they see passion, because that's what it is. So I think over the last few weeks in the press, we've actually seen the real her. And she does need to do more interviews. I'm not.
Yeah, how about she hasn't done an interview yet, and she hasn't done a press conference yet.
Yeah.
So I mean, why is that? I mean, she's new to the job, but it's striking that we really haven't seen her answer questions yet.
I really don't know. I mean,
all right. So you just told us you're close friends with Kamala. She's in your book, and they've told him to shut up. Don't say anything. Don't say why we're not doing press conferences. Jonathan Karl, why are you asking Charlamagne the God? Why aren't you demanding that Kamala Harris does an interview, answers questions? You're asking, hey, Charlamagne, so why hasn't she done any interviews? Hey, I don't know, man. I don't know nothing about it.
The bottom of the ninth inning, right? Like, I feel like she should be any and everywhere, having these conversations. I truly don't know why she hasn't, done any interviews yet, because that's the only reason Donald Trump is still, sucking the air out of the headlines, because he keeps headlines going. Like, he's everywhere. You saw him at the National Association for Black Journalists Convention. You saw him on with Aiden Ross. He's going to be on with Elon Musk. He's always calling into conservative talk radio, which is one of my biggest issues with the Democratic Party. They don't.
So you just showed everybody else what the contrast is. You just underscored that Donald Trump isn't afraid of anything. He went to the National Association of Black Journalists. He went there knowing he was going into the lion's den, per se. I'm there. He went into a black church in Detroit. You call him, he's coming. He's coming. He, like Deion Sanders said, I ain't hard to find. I'm coming. He's not dodging anybody. But these people, for some reason, nope, I don't know.
Don't use, they don't use the media that supports them the way that the right uses the media that supports them. Like,
so why not? You got a big radio show. I've seen her on there. I've seen Hillary. Remember when Hillary went on his show? Hillary went on his show, and what did she do? I got some hot sauce in my bag. Kamala would do the exact same thing. She's so out of touch with the black community, she can't relate to the black community. That's why she hasn't been on your radio show. That's why she's not going on black, basically urban shows. She doesn't relate. In order to be able to talk to people in that situation, you have to relate to the people in that situation. I showed you a compilation of some guys in a black barbershop talking. And they're like, nah, she ain't black. And they don't necessarily mean the pigmentation. They're like, she ain't black. So, if I had seen that and I was her, and I'd seen these 5 guys in a barbershop talking about me going, nah, man, she ain't black. Hey, get them. I'm coming in next week. I need to sit down with these people. Because you just put that on the air, on MSNBC or whatever it was, and, you didn't even rally from it. You didn't say nothing.
For the last 4 years, she's had plenty of platforms that she can be going on, from radio to podcast, right?
So why isn't she? Again, that leads into what Trump has said. If you could have done all this, if you've done all this stuff and you got all these accomplishments, why haven't you done it? Charlamagne, you just said she has access to all these black shows. They would love to have her on. Why isn't she doing it? Is nobody ever going to find out what the hell's going on with this woman and what her marionette people are doing? Not allowing her to get out there in the public, even into the black public? And you expect to keep the black voter in line while she's ignoring black celebrities? And I'm not talking about Megan Thee Stallion out here twerking. I'm talking about talking to a guy like this, getting down and dirty and talking about things, unscripted. That's the problem.
Actually support her and, support Democrats. But they haven't been doing that.
So bottom line, how does Harris win this election and how does she lose it?
How does Harris win this election? She wins this election by constantly going out there and talking about the issues. Don't get distracted by all of the racist insults that are going to come your way, the sexist insults that are going to come your way. You got to...
Have you guys, excuse me, I'm sorry. Have you guys heard anyone, anywhere on the news with the Trump camp levy any racist insults against her? Has anyone said, hey, listen, you're a woman, this isn't a woman's job, this is a man's job? Have you heard anyone say that? Why are they pushing that? Because anything you do to criticize her is considered racist. If you say she doesn't have any accomplishments, oh, that's racist. Oh, if you say good morning, it's racist. Oh, if you say she's got a pretty picture on Time magazine, it reminds me of my wife or a beautiful actress, she looked beautiful and she's a beautiful woman, that's racist. They actually did that today. If you heard Trump say it during the Elon Musk interview, where he basically said, hey, listen, that's a beautiful picture and Kamala's a beautiful woman. Oh, that's racist. I'm sorry. Oh, and it's racist and sexist. You shouldn't call me beautiful. All right, you're ugly. Never mind, won't say the word. These people make no sense. It's like we're on a different planet.
Go out there and really engage people. You have to go out there and, really shake hands and kiss babies. You have to go places that people normally don't go. There's new voters turning 18 every day. So you have to find a way to go out there and engage them. So I think she should use a lot of new media. Yes, she should sit with people like you, John, of course. Yeah. I do think she should go to Fox News. But she should be going on these podcasts. And she should be talking to these TikTokers who are already supporting her, right?
Oh, no. Sorry. I have a video coming up with a bunch of TikTokers who are now blabbing and saying, hey, they're trying to pay me to say something bad about Donald Trump. There's no organic support there. How much you get? I want $3,000, $10,000. Oh, now they got a new thing. They want to stop people from saying what they're doing, and she's making people sign an NDA. And so one of the women said, yeah, this is what they did. They wanted me to sign an NDA. So she's messing up all over the place. Charlamagne the God, he's right. Get out there and do it. Talk to people. Don't rely on basically fudging Google search results and manipulating campaigns and, for lack of a better word, cheating. Why are you cheating instead of going and talking to people?
Hey, like, she should be doing things like that. Engage this new audience. Because right now you got all of this energy. She's never been this viral. She's never been all over social media in a good way like she.
Why do you think she hasn't? There's a flip side to that. Donald Trump, because he's been in television, he's a real estate developer, the whole 9 yards. He's had a career. Why isn't or hasn't Kamala Harris been in the limelight? Because she doesn't done anything. She has no appeal to anybody. You just admitted it. All this appeal right now is fake.
He is now. So now that you got those people's attention, go out there and talk to them and tell them what your future looks like. Because those kids are the future. That's how you win this election. And how does she
lose?
All right, so I got to stop right here. Listen close to how he says she loses. Because when I heard this explanation, I about wanted to throw up. There's only one way that Kamala Harris can lose this election. And it's not the way that you think. There's only one way. One way. Listen to the one way she can lose.
How does she lose it? She loses it because if all of Donald Trump's cronies around the country refuse to certify the results of the election, and she loses it if Donald Trump, challenges the results of the election in the Supreme Court, which is no longer a legitimate institution. They are completely corrupt. If he challenges it and it goes to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court overturns the results of the election.
That's the only way Kamala Harris can lose. Donald Trump can't beat her. It's over. Forget it, everybody. The only way she loses is if the Supreme Court overturns the election. That's it. Not even, there's no other way she can lose. These people are delusional. I mean, absolutely delusional. They can't even foresee that there's any possible way that she can lose the election. Imagine being that obtuse. Unbelievable. She's hiding because she has no appeal. Absolutely right. Yeah. Oh, please. Absolutely. Yep, their strategy is to, once again, steal it. You have to believe that this is what they're hoping for, because none of this makes any sense. And he just said there, the only way she can lose is if the court turns it over. Yeah, okay. I heard someone, let me see this one. I heard someone say that she is only leftist, and she yelled back, "No, I am not. I could use my right hand as well." Hey, Barry, what's this? The Mpox from WHO is global. Yeah, today. Yep, I talked about that earlier. Dude is told, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black, and he still supports that side. Right to his face. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Her boss at this current time told Charlamagne the God that. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Okay. Why would they? She doesn't know any issues. No, she doesn't. His answer shows they intend to cheat. Yeah. That was the main reason I wanted to show him and what he said. That and the fact that he's like, you need to get out there. You need to get out there and start talking to people. And she won't. So, she has nothing. She's got nothing at all. That's why I've been saying, legally, I see a landslide. How much weed Kamala smokes before her rallies? That's a good one. Oh, boy. Okay. Ruskin already said they wouldn't certify if Trump wins. Yeah, it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. Unless, of course, we do make it too big to rig, where it's like, can't do anything about it. Now, understand, there was some news that came out today, very unsettling. There's a rumor going around that Donald Trump is going to be sentenced on September, I think, 18th, and that they're going to put him in jail. Desperation knows no end with these people. I believe that they will indeed try to put him in jail. I believe that right there in the courtroom, Merchant is probably going to say, you're remanded, give me your passport, and head to the clinky. I hope Trump's prepared for that. I hope you're prepared for that. If they do it, he wins in an absolute landslide if he survives prison. Because these people are desperate. They are seemingly stupid enough to do that, to try and put Trump in Rikers Island. At that point, God help this country. God help this country if he goes in there and something happens to him. Even one night. Man, that would lock in a landslide. I completely agree. I am voting for these idiots, but voting for Trump and JD. All right, so this is a long piece, so I want to show you what Stephen A. Smith said. Now, Stephen A., I've used him in a couple of my videos, and he went from screaming at Dementia Joe to basically saying he was so happy that Kamala was on the ticket and that she was the nominee, and now he's back to like, what the hell are you doing? This ain't working. Obviously, he's got to tell everybody who watches his show, I'm still voting for you. But you can tell with what he's saying, he's basically sounding the alarm. Now, this piece here, and I'm going to try and let him talk as much as possible because he says a lot. But you're going to laugh. This to me epitomizes where the state of the Democratic Party is right now. This man is freaking out. I don't think he's acting. So let's listen.
Fair is fair. Fair is fair to independents out there. Fair is fair to conservatives and Republicans out there. There's certain things that we have to hold both sides to. Now, Joe Biden stepped aside as the presumptive Democratic nominee on July 21st. Okay? Now I'm going to look at this right now. I'm looking at my calendar because I just want to make sure. July 21st was a Sunday. We've had 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and 1 day since Joe Biden stepped aside. The only damn place we've seen Kamala Harris is at their pep rallies. What's up? Somebody got to say something. And it can't just be the conservatives. Right is right. I'm talking to my sister here. Come on now. You running for the presidency of the United States of America. You got my vote. You running for the presidency of the United States of America. What you hiding for?
She's hiding because she can't do anything. She's hiding because she doesn't have anything to run on. Stephen A., you must know that. Everybody else can see it. What the hell is she going to tell people? What kind of stuff can she say in an interview? Of course she's got to hide. And there's no prodding that you can do that's going to make it change. She would get out there and embarrass herself. Have these people not seen her prior interviews?
And I mean hiding in plain sight. Somebody got to say it. Somebody got to say it. Now, you can't be running for the presidency of the United States. Not one single press conference, not one single one-on-one sit-down interview where somebody gets to question you about the questions that we ask. That's not fair. That's not fair. And if you're a conservative and you out there lambasting her for it, ridiculing her for it, trying to torment her for it or whatever, it is perfectly within your right to do so. All of you anti-conservatives out there, shut the hell up. That's a valid point. It ain't valid to bring up a blackness or an Indian heritage and to try to point to things of that nature. That's nonsense. But to ask her about her record, because she is attached to the Biden record.
Okay, so that's where he differed from Charlamagne the God. He's saying, as you just heard, you're attached to this. You own it. You have got to come out and say you own it. But she can't. She can't say I own this because there's no... I don't know what she's going to say. Either you own a little bit of crap that he's done or you have nothing. Because you, personally, have not done anything. You've been there 3.5 years and you've done squat. So I don't know how she extricates herself from him, and I don't know if it's smart to do so because you haven't done anything.
It's definitely apropos, especially when you were bragging about the record. We talked about Biden being a transformative president. Well, stand on it then.
She can't. When I saw this video, I really looked at this and said to myself, he doesn't probably realize what he's doing right now. Because as much as a clown as I feel he is, the dude has a big, big, big audience. I mean, huge. And he's letting everybody know at this point, she's full of shit. He just said, you know, you say you got all these accomplishments, stand on them. I've said it for a couple months now. I almost think when he gets inside the booth, this guy, when there's nobody looking, and there's none of the brothers can see him, he's going to hit that Trump button. Because as you listen to this, you realize that isn't somebody who would support Kamala Harris. Of course he says it, oh, I'm voting for Kamala Harris. But as you shred her and tell everybody, you're doing wrong. You're doing wrong, my sister. I'm pretty confident in saying when he gets in that booth by himself, something's going to give.
Stand on it. Where you at? No George Stephanopoulos, no Meet the Press, no State of the Union. What's up? No Face the Nation, no Politico, no MSNBC. I understand why you wouldn't do Fox. Liberals don't really do Fox, just like conservatives don't really do MSNBC. You're welcome to the Stephen A. Smith Show. I will gladly interview Donald Trump. I will gladly interview Kamala Harris. Name the time or place. I'll come to you. I'll come to you. I'll show up. Anytime. And I'm no political aficionado. I'm going to need fact checkers. I don't know everything that y'all going to say. But I know this much. I know how to ask the questions that Americans want to know.
That's why she's not coming to you. That's specifically why she would never do an interview with you or anybody like you who's going to ask her the questions that Americans want to know. You just basically summed it all up with that one sentence. I know the questions America wants to know. Pretty much all of us know the questions America wants to know. She can't answer those questions. She has to dodge those questions, which is the same reason why she hasn't done an interview. And when she does, okay, let me just say this, and when she does eventually do an interview, she will not talk about the things Americans want to hear. She is going to try and skate as much as she possibly can without ever addressing the things that America care about. She's going to want to talk about baby removals. She's going to want to talk about Transformers. She's going to talk about stupid stuff, millionaires and billionaires and Project 2025 and all this crazy stuff. And it takes somebody with the mentality of Stephen A. Smith, with the mentality to sit there and go, Kamala, we need to talk about these top 5 issues. Let's go through these issues and tell me where you stand. Trump today went up for an hour and 15 or 20 minutes and went down the list. I want to do tariffs. I want to drill. I want to get into ANWR. I want no tax on tips, which you stole. I want no tax on Social Security. So many, most people won't remember. He's going to have to put it out in a document. But he went boom to boom to boom to boom to boom. Right down the line. She can't do that. That's why she's not sitting for an interview with Stephen A. Smith or anybody else talking about the actual issues. What you're going to see over the next week is a Broadway play. They are going to choreograph this thing so well. They're going to have rappers and Transformers and maybe have RuPaul do a drag show and all this stuff over the DNC. They're not going to show the people outside protesting. They put Joe on Monday night. They basically said, put him when the cameras aren't even on. She's treating the man like crap. I mean, seriously, he gave you the job as vice president. And you're telling me this guy, he can't even introduce you? You're banishing him to Siberia? Hey, Monday at like 4 o'clock when nobody's watching is when we'll let him come on. That's wrong. Somebody needs to ask her about that. Kamala, this guy named you his vice president. You called him. We did it, Joe. You said you were the last person in the room when all this stuff happened, and you put this guy on Monday night? How embarrassing, man. How stunningly embarrassing. That alone would tell me what kind of character this woman is.
Kamala Harris, there are certain things that we have to ask you a question about. There's simply no way of getting around certain things.
If he knows that, you know that, I know that, her team knows that. There's no way getting around it. You're going to have to face this stuff head on. There's no other way. You could run this campaign at this point. How are you not taking these questions that people care about head on? There is no way around it.
Weren't you against fracking? Is that true? And now you're for it?
Mm-hmm.
Just asking.
How'd it happen?
These are important questions to think about. You're going to intensify and elevate the importance of securing our borders. Were you always that way?
No. That question you don't even have to ask her. You can see. You can see what's happened in the last 3.5 years. Again, the question you'd want to ask her, Stephen A., is why haven't you? Whatever she says to the answer to that question, so now you want to stabilize the borders, why didn't you? And don't tell me about Donald Trump. He stopped it. He stopped the law from coming into effect. Donald Trump wasn't in Congress. You're the president of the Senate. As the vice president, you have some clout. You get to talk to Joe directly. Why didn't you do it? Serious questions require serious answers.
These are legitimate questions. You no longer support a national ban on fracking. Also, you no longer support the elimination of private health insurance.
Flip-flop, 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 flip-flop. Even though she really does want the elimination of private health insurance.
Is it true that one time you supported those things?
Yep.
When did your mind change?
Yep.
How long ago was that?
Change?
When were you going to tell the American people?
Ooh.
Why'd you keep it from everybody?
Ooh.
And yes, it is a legitimate question. How much did you know about Joe Biden and the slippage? The cognitive decline that so many people have alluded to on both sides of the aisle now.
Why did you lie about it? There are interviews with her on camera saying Joe's fine. He's sharp as a tack. So if you're going to go down that line of questioning, then you need to ask her, why'd you lie? It didn't just happen on June 27th at the debate. He didn't short circuit. We've all seen it. Why did you lie? Never going to hear that question.
Did you ever feel compelled to tell anybody? I know you didn't want to come out and dime them out publicly, but privately, were you working behind the scenes? Did you tell folks about this? Did you talk to Joe Biden himself about that?
She's never going to answer this.
These are legitimate questions for a presidential candidate. And the reason why I think it's important, ladies and gentlemen, to bring this issue up. I support Kamala Harris over Donald Trump.
Bullshit. Excuse me.
But fair is fair. Is it not true that just in this cycle, that there wasn't really a primary for the Democrats?
He's asking, and this is the only reason why I decided to do this segment. He's asking the right questions. He's about to get into, hey, listen, how did you even get appointed here? You know, if you knew he was sick, if you knew he was incompetent, then why wasn't he removed a year ago so the people themselves would have a democratic process and be able to pick the person they wanted to pick? How did you get chosen? Because you weren't elected. Not a single vote went your way. So how did this happen? How did you know? When did you know? Why did you not tell anybody? And now all of a sudden you're the heir to the throne. It's not good. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Kamala says, I am a liar. That's why. Hey, John, how you doing? Selected. No, he has made sure at this point by mentioning these questions that Kamala will never go on his show. But see, the thing is, by him putting these questions out there, I would hope that there are other people in the media who think to themselves, these are pretty good questions. Why is nobody asking her these questions? Why, if she does a town hall, would there not be 25 people in the audience going, Miss Harris, yeah, well, when did you know Joe was toast, and why didn't you tell us? She can't do it. There are too many landmines in this type of an interview. If this guy can see it, and he's got questions, because every single, you got to realize this, every single question he's asking to himself and he's putting out there are career ending. They are absolutely career ending. She has so many landmines in front of her, she can't possibly do an interview unless it's scripted, choreographed, and basically with the home team. Because these are questions that should be part of a debate. They're going to lob her softballs during the debate. They're going to say, hey, listen, what do you think about, Project 2025? And Trump's going to what are you talking about? Why are we not talking about the issues that people care about? Stephen A. Smith is lining up those issues and saying a real reporter would be asking these questions. He may have said that he's voting for the sister, but you can tell by the questions he's got some concerns. I think the people she talks to are not allowed to ask her hard questions. Yeah. Kamala is so dirty. And the thing with this is that if I don't know how many people have seen Stephen A.'s video. It's not about learning. It's about asking the real questions. Exactly. I'm hoping that people force her somehow to answer these real questions. Stop dodging everybody. You're dodging Jim Acosta. He laughed at you. John Berman, CNN. Those are home team players, and you're making those guys look pretty stupid. That's not a good thing. Not good at all.
Because the way was paved for President Joe Biden. This is not about Kamala Harris. This is about the Democratic Party. How dare you? How dare you? If the man is ready and qualified to run for the presidency of the United States of America, why are you getting in the way of competition? Let the American people decide.
See what I'm saying? I know he plays a role on television, but these questions, he knows. He has to know if Kamala Harris is giving these questions, it's over. So why would he be putting this stuff out? Why would he be saying, these are things we need to ask Kamala Harris? I understand he's got a huge audience. This video that he put out is seen by many, 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 many people. In the black community, in the sports community, in the entertainment community. And these are all questions he's placing into their heads. He's wondering why these things aren't being asked. And it doesn't matter if she doesn't answer them. He's putting the seed out there. Hey, when did you stop beating your wife? You got to answer that. Because if you don't answer that, and it is kind of a trick question, because the first question, I never beat my wife. Okay, good. But you can't just let it hang there. He's asking all these questions as if he was asking her, and he's asking it so that the audience can hear what kind of questions she should be should be asked. That's the goal of what I think he was doing here. Because you wouldn't be putting this stuff out here in the manner he's putting it out here if you didn't want to plant the seed in other people's minds that, oh my God, did she not do that either? She not do that? Really, Steve? She didn't do that? Because these are questions some people may not have formulated in their minds. That's why I'm showing you this video, is because with his audience, he's laying it out, basically her crucifixion. Why aren't people asking these questions? These are the questions we need to know. And he's talking to many black people. Why don't you know this stuff? Why was nobody asking? And I think that's very, very dangerous for her.
I don't give a damn if it's Dean Phillips or somebody else. Let us decide. We're the voters. Let us decide. That's all I'm saying. I'm talking to the Democrats and the Republicans. You see, when you want to sit up there and you want to crucify Donald Trump, I'm down for that. I don't like a lot of stuff about Donald Trump. I can't deny, however, the man does a whole bunch of interviews. Get ready to get interviewed by Elon Musk. Showed up to the National Association of Black Journalists. Knew that wasn't going to be a pleasant experience. You saw him. You didn't even say hello. How are you? We saw that. But he was there.
He was there. He is giving the contrast to people. This is why I may be off my rocker, but this is why I think when he closes the curtain and gets into the booth, he's pulling Trump. These questions are like, man, I mean, it's surgical. If you sat down for an interview and you asked her these questions, the election would be over. Over. Done. So why would you be putting these questions out there for other people to ponder unless you had the intent of shredding this woman?
I saw Ron DeSantis, Chris Christie, Vivek Ramaswamy. Nikki Haley. I saw people trying to knock him off in the primaries. The Republican conservative folks in this country spoke.
Now, every single one of the people that he just mentioned, even Chris Christie, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, couldn't take Trump down. And they are so much more accomplished than Kamala Harris. Again, planting something. If these established people couldn't take down Trump, what makes you think you can? And at least they were man and woman enough to stand toe-to-toe with him. And he still took them down. He still made all of them scurry. Almost to non-existence. Nikki Haley stayed in for a long time, but she was the biggest competitor, but even her share was tiny. So what makes you think, Kamala Harris, that you could go toe-to-toe with this guy? You've shown nothing that you can do that.
We want Donald Trump, they said. Okay. 2 impeachments. $454 million civil case. 34 felony convictions. They said, we don't give a damn. He's our guy.
Yep.
Did we really get to make that choice about Joe Biden?
Ooh. Butt pucker. Donald Trump had to go through all of that. He had to run the gauntlet. He faced the fire, literally, over and over and over, before he could get to be the nominee. And you just showed up. You just showed up to the party like you expect to be coronated. You didn't go through any fire. None. You didn't have to face a single opponent. You didn't have to face a single voter or delegate. Nothing. They paved the way for you to step in like Cinderella and just all of a sudden one day get your golden slippers. You didn't have to do anything. Nothing. And Stephen A. Smith is reminding people that.
We didn't. Because there was no primary. Perhaps if there was competition, perhaps if he had to compete for the position, and we heard other voices emanating from the Democratic side, from the left side, from the progressive side, we would have felt better. But the road was paved for Joe Biden to cakewalk to the Democratic convention to be the official Democratic nominee until he showed up for a debate on June 27th.
How'd that happen, Kamala? How was it that the entire primary season, from state to state to state, when you heard this guy blah 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 basically throwing up all over himself for months, nobody said a word? Nothing. When you saw everything about the laptop, when you saw Jill doing crazy stuff, who by the way has disappeared, when you seen all this, we watched you. We watched you on 4th of July holding, him up in the balcony. We're going to do this. And then all of a sudden, he gets his butt waxed, and you just are anointed. Stephen A. Smith is recanting all that so people know what happened. And again, it's not the fact of what, that it's Stephen A. It's like, oh my God, Stephen A. is saying this to all these people, and he's letting them know this was wrong. This is damning for Kamala Harris. A member of the media who doesn't give a crap about politics, except maybe he wants to do a late night show, is shredding you. Saying you're a phony, saying you're a fake, and saying you're a coward. And he's saying that to a huge swath of black people and sports fans. I don't think enough people understand that part of it.
And all hell broke loose thereafter. Had it not been for that, all we would have been doing was talking. But he still would have showed up in Chicago a week from now for the Democratic National Convention and pushed in as the Democratic nominee. Wait a minute. If that's the case, what's right about that?
Ooh. Kamala can't answer that question. How is that right? How is that just? How is it okay with you to know that all these people across the country went to primaries, voted for the man that you said was great, you were going to be reelected as his vice president, and then all of a sudden, Nancy, Obama, whoever, get together and go, you got to step aside. We're either going to do this or do that. We're going to give you the hard way, the easy way. You're going to get the window or the door. Which way is it? But we're definitely throwing you out. And we're going to anoint her as a successor. And you knew this. His dementia did not sneak up on anybody. You've known it for many, many, many months, if not years. And you let it go. You lied to the American people. Stephen A. Smith is pointing out right here, again, like I said, the crucifixion. If this was a jury, these are the questions a lawyer would have to would pose to her. And every single answer would be it. It's over. Except no one's asking her those questions because she's not showing up. But eventually she's going to have to. Twerking at a political rally is disgraceful. Wonder if Barkley's going to punch Smith in the face now, really. Yeah, he's definitely in the closet. Yeah, that's my point here. He says what he has to say by telling everybody, oh, I'm going to vote for my sister. But then you wouldn't be telling the world these questions that you have, that you know are going to cause other people to go, yeah, man, you're right. Damn, Stephen A., you're right. And enough of those people nod their head and say, yeah, he's right. She's in big trouble. Do you want to fight your fellow Americans or terrorists? Good point. Please refer Charlamagne simply as Charlamagne. He's no God. Yes, God. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Somebody, where'd that go? Went by too fast. Hey, Cindy. Yeah, it was Cindy who wrote this. Cindy goes, but why is he doing this? That's why I'm presenting it to you. That's why I said people are calling her out. There would be no reason to do this. None. He could just ignored it. Let her take her nomination next week at the DNC. Just let it go. Don't say anything. Don't ruffle any feathers. Why would he be saying this? Why would he be laying this all out? And he's not done yet. Why would he be doing this if not to damage her? Because none of this helps her. He hasn't said anything yet that helps her in terms of being a potential president. Everything he has said thus far is a dent. And he's just poking and going, hey, you didn't answer these questions.
Now, you Kamala Harris, let me say this. I'm not saying this to malign you. I'm saying this because I believe in you.
Sure.
I believe you'll show up on a debate stage against Donald Trump and you'll do your thing. That sister will come out in you and you'll be ready.
And if that sister comes out, she's done. She's absolutely done. If that's what he's hoping she'll do, he has to know. At that point, if she shows her blackitude, it's over.
You stated eloquently during your first press conference as a presumptive nominee, I know Donald Trump's type. So you can handle your business. I believe. Do you believe?
Ooh. I believe in you, but I don't think you got it. Imagine, and you're an athlete, because he's in athletics. I'm a former football player. And your coach says to you, I think you can do it. I think you really can be great. But do you believe you can be great? Because right now we ain't seeing it. I'm not seeing it on the field, Barry. I have in my mind, I see you got some skills. You could do this, you could do that. But I don't think you believe in yourself. And that, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the worst things you can say to an athlete. Do you believe in yourself? Because what he has just said is, I don't think you got the heart. I don't think you got it in you. Because if you got it in you, now is the time to step up. Those of you who've been athletes, you understand what I'm talking about. Somebody goes and says, I don't think you got it in you. That's when you put on the helmet and get out there. Who do I need to just run over? I'm going to show you I got it in me. And he knows she doesn't. He knows she can't respond. Looked in the camera directly. He's still looking in the camera. I don't know if you got it in you.
What's up? This strategy that everybody's invoking. Let's not say anything. I'm not saying the strategy wasn't good to this point. But remember, I was the one that said a year ago, we needed a new president for the next election. Mm-hmm. Joe Biden can't be the guy. Y'all waited about 8 months, but everybody found out I was right. And I'm telling you now, Vice President Harris, this strategy that is working, that has you up in the polls.
See, that's where, he's hypnotized. They look at these polls that are put out there to make people think something. But he's talking about, it's almost midnight. It's going to strike, and you still got to basically worry about turning back into a pumpkin.
Where you showing up at rallies, and that's pretty much press conferences and interviews. That is not going to fly for much longer. You're coming out with your economic plan this week, supposedly. Can't wait to see it. Fracking, private health insurance, our borders. We want to hear about that. I want to see you interviewed by George Stephanopoulos. Hell, I want to see you interviewed by Joy Reid. I want to see you interviewed on Meet the Press. I want to see you on Face the Nation. I want to see you on State of the Union and with Jake Tapper. I want to see those interviews. The American people want to see those interviews. Because If you don't, you wait too long, then the momentum's gonna slip. See, all the left needs to do is show fight. Stand on your record.
She ain't got one. He's asking her to do something I have to believe he knows she can't. To me, it's like a trap door. Stand on your record. What record? What can she possibly say to convince the American people that she's got it?
Most American people want things a certain way. Some American people want things another way. Okay, cool. Make your case. But don't do it by circumventing the process.
So he's accusing her right now of circumventing the process. Ouch. You are inauthentic. You are a fraud at this point. You're a phony. You are circumventing the process for your own personal gain. Ouch.
Process entails you doing interviews, you having press conferences, you answering questions and not reading down and saying, okay, Stephen A. Smith, it's your turn. Okay, Charlamagne the God, it's your turn. Okay, Jake Tapper, it's your turn. Okay, Caitlin Collins or Joy Reid, it's your turn. Nah!
Y'all don't see what I'm saying here? Seriously, you don't see it? You don't see him calling her out? Hey, everything you did with Joe ain't gonna fly. You need to be your own gal. You need to be out there and show people you got it. You need to show people you believe in yourself. No pre-scripted stuff. No picking which, host you want to talk to. You need to get out there and tell people what the hell you're gonna do. She can't do it. She can't.
Stand up on the podium and look into the crowd and just point. You ain't running from nobody because you want to be the president.
In essence, what he just said, you need to do what Trump did. He just called her out and said, you need to do a press conference like Donald Trump did. You need to get up there on a podium. Blue dress, what do you got? You. Talk for an hour and 40 minutes like Trump did. Take every question, no matter what it is. No matter how stupid it is. Answer every single question. You leave me in the chat if you think she can do that. So he has given her an impossible task. But he's let everybody know who's following him and watching his video that this is the task she must do. Anything short of that task, you're circumventing the process and you're a phony. That's how it's coming across. And I've had other people look at this and go, man, he called her out. Yeah, he called her out. The only way she can fix what he said is to do it. And she can't.
You ain't running from nobody. Let's go. Let's go. You 19 years younger than Donald Trump. You swear you're more honest than Donald Trump, more ethical than Donald Trump, more decent than Donald Trump. Okay, let's go.
You swear, meaning you said it. You said you're all these things better than Donald Trump. Okay, if you're the better person, get your ass out there. That's what he just said. And he's saying it to everybody in the way he says it and how his talk and his vernacular. But he's basically calling her out at this point. You bad? Show you bad. To talk street lingo. You think you got it? You're better than Donald Trump? You're 19 years younger? You're smarter? You're this, you're that? Do it. Prove me wrong.
Let's go. Let's go. See, I cover sports. And let me tell y'all something real quick. I'm a stickler for this.
Mm-hmm. I know where he's going.
I cannot stand. I adamantly despise athletes, youngsters being held accountable to the degree that politicians are held accountable. We get on athletes for every little mistake they make. role models, lack thereof, and all of this other stuff. We get on them. They pass gas. We in their ass. Everywhere we turn. They 20. They 22. They 25.
19.
I can pick athletes, name after name after name, that y'all were ready to throw out the pasture and tell them they ain't worth a damn. Why? Because they made a mistake. But all they doing is playing ball and collecting their check for their hard-earned money and effort. Y'all are trying to run our lives. Economically, healthcare, border, list goes on and on. Reproductive rights. Everywhere we turn, you're trying to have dominion over people, but somehow, some way, too many politicians throughout the years have skirted responsibility, simply being mandated to stand up and make your positions clear and speak up for yourself and stand on what you stand on.
Ouch. Done. Right there. Over. Completely done. If you understood what he just said, those of us who have played every single part of our life, did you have a drink? Were you drunk driving? Did you mess with this girl? Did you do this? You do, and they just can't wait to throw you off the team. You better walk the straight and narrow, or something could happen. Unless you're Tyreek Hill in Miami, you can do whatever you want. And what he's saying is, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And this time, the gander is more important. You're trying, and he told his entire audience, you're trying to basically be the caretaker of the American people. That is a job that's up here. It's better, more than a center or a defensive tackle or a quarterback. You want to be the caretaker of the American people, and you don't have the chutzpah to stand in front of a reporter. He eviscerated her. People who didn't see this entire thing because it was long don't understand what he just did to her. He called her out, called her to the mat, and said, if you plan on running this country and being dominion over people's lives, you must do a press conference. Otherwise, you're phony. He called her out.
If ever there is a position where there should not be allowed, is somebody in pursuit of the presidency of the United States of America. I support you, my sister Kamala Harris. Got my vote. But enough of this.
Notice there was a but. And you guys know when there's a but, that means it's qualified. He basically said, I support you, but don't test me.
With the rallies, disguised. I don't care that 15,000 people showed up. We got that. You're going to get support. You are 19 years younger than this man. There is no cognitive decline when it comes to you. You are spry, you are energetic, you are ready, you are feisty, you are fighting, you are intelligent.
That's what a coach would tell you. A coach would say, you're ready, you're fast, you're strong, you're tough, you're bigger than this guy. Now get out there and kick some ass. And then it's up to the player to go, okay, I believe you. I believe in myself. I'm ready to run through a wall for you, coach. And he's building her up right now. And as he closes, he's going to say, now you got to do it. Not in those words, but.
You know how to do battle. Let's go! I want to see some damn interviews.
Boom. But here's your accolades. Now you got to do it. Now you got to perform. I want to see some interviews. Any athlete who just watched that and heard him talk realized what he just did to her. I don't think a lot of people understood. They discount him right off the bat. He shredded her. And he let everybody know in the entire athletic world, this woman, she either needs to step up or step off.
I want to see you answer some questions. This is not said in the negative. I'm saying it because I believe in you. And I believe that if this strategy, which has worked to this point, I'm fearful that if you continue to do it, you're going to lose momentum. I'm not knocking the Harris campaign, the Harris-Walz campaign, for what you are doing. I'm saying it can't continue for long. Otherwise, you're going to have slippage in the momentum.
Just like with a sports team. Hey, this play is working. It's been working. But eventually, the other team looks at the game film, and they start finding your vulnerabilities and weaknesses, and they begin exploiting those vulnerabilities and weaknesses. It's not going to continue to work. It's 11:58, Kamala. You need to take care of business, is what he's saying.
As we draw closer to the election, don't let people look at Trump and say he willing to stand up and fight anything, anybody, at any time. But she's not. You let them know you know how to fight too. And you know how to win. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Boom. Don't let them look at Trump and see this man as a fighter. This man here, 78 years old, going across the country to answer questions, walking into any place, walks into the National Association of Black Journalists, which you didn't show up. Goes to rally after rally, takes whatever opportunity he can to talk to people, does press conferences, gets shot at, gets hit, gets shot. The contrast that you were hoping to make as a stronger person, now you've got a mountain to climb. You let it get away from you. This man is here. The media can't stop it anymore. Only you can stop it. What you got, girl? What you got? Well, unfortunately, all of us know she ain't got anything. She's done. She's toast. If the media continues to chip on this thing and show people who she really is, she's toast. Now, you understand over the next week, the glorification and anointing is going to occur. That's fine. Get it out the way. August 22nd, it's done. Watch some fake polls come out around the 23rd and 24th and 25th saying she's way ahead now. She's up 8 points. But like Jim Acosta asked her guy, and John Berman asked that other lady. The end of the month comes after the DNC. So you get coronated on the 22nd. You enjoy another semi-honeymoon, a getaway, where you're going to have these fake polls trying to, basically say you're fantastic. And then that's just going to dissipate. And it's just going to go away. And you're going to have to get in front of people. And by the way, don't think for an instant that during that period of time, Trump's not coming for you. The other team doesn't sit and wait. I saw some stuff where people were saying, oh, Trump's taking 2 weeks off. You really think that? You really think Trump's taking 2 weeks off? You're pretty stupid. Like I said, some Democrats are just stupid if you think he's going to take 2 weeks off. I hope he does an event with Elon during the convention. He is telling his followers to dismiss their incredulity and vote for stinking. No, I think he laid it out. Oh, God, that's funny. Stephen Trump took a bullet. What's her fight? You kidding me? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Once you put it in that perspective, and you're like, hey, woman, you need to get out there and show you can fight, and it ain't black girl attitude. That ain't gonna match. That's not gonna show it. If I were to give her a hint, you know what I would tell her? At this point, you need to separate from the Democratic Party and do what's right for the American people. Because you get on stage at the DNC and you start talking about baby removal and transformers and everything else that they're talking about, higher taxes, blah, 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 blah. You're done. You are absolutely done, which I hope you do. He should have told her ass to show up for the debate on September 4th. He's pretty much saying that. He's pretty much saying, If you're a team, if you're a player, you show up when you're supposed to show up. You take every opportunity to show you're the best. You don't duck anybody. And right now she's ducking everybody. So the Democratic convention, yeah, they're going to roll out all the dinosaurs. The Clintons, the Obamas, Harris, and Biden. What will happen, I wonder? A coronation. It's going to be glowing. It's going to be fantastic. But here's where the real problem is with the DNC, I think, and I'll close with this. I think at the DNC, they're going to make a huge, huge mistake. And why I say that is all eyes are going to be on them. Republicans, independents, and Democrats, obviously. And what's going to happen is this parade of characters that they bring up may offend some people. It really may offend some people to the point where, like, I can't vote for this freak show. This freak show that you guys are putting up on stage? Are you really going to bring out Transformers? Really? And you think there's enough independents that are going to say, yeah, I'm good with that? Are you going to bring out a cavalcade of people who say it's okay to just let as many newcomers in the country? Are you going to celebrate what's gone on? Are you going to avoid it? I don't know how she can avoid these things. These are all the policies that they have stood for. So if you stand for an open border, say it. Don't dodge it. Be a woman. Say it. I want to see as many newcomers coming to this country as possible. No, you won't say it. You're a fraud. You're a phony. The entire thing is just a shell game that the Democrats are playing. And they think they're going to put on a good show next week. And you watch what happens outside. She's going to have to come up and say, and nobody's asked her, you support Israel. You're going to continue to support Israel. You're going to continue to support those people over there fighting Putin. She's not answering any questions. It really looks like it's Cinderella's ball next weekend. But unfortunately, at 11:59, she's going to have to make some decisions. And I don't think she can make them. And I think Stephen A. Smith laid out a bunch of questions that a smart reporter who's not worried about offending her would ask those questions. And if not a reporter, Donald Trump needs to start putting it out there. Going for it. Go for the throat. What does Kamala think about this? What does Kamala think about that? Kamala's not answering this question. Make sure the debate, you turn it around and make her answer those questions. She's going to have prepared information and quips and little dings at you. Oh, you're a 34th committed felony, and you might even be in jail next week. Ha 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 ha. Okay, now you're done? You're done? Okay, so you didn't answer my question. Yeah, I may be sentenced next week. So what? I'd like to know, what are you going to do about all these newcomers? Well, you wouldn't sign me. I'm not even in Congress. So don't talk to me about some bipartisan border bill that you filled with pork. I want to know why you won't stop these newcomers coming in. She can't answer any of it. Unfortunately for us, the lackeys on the left don't care. Do anything you need to do, just beat this orange guy. It's the people in the middle, and it's black people. It's Hispanic people. It's young people who are going to be turned off. Understand what Stephen A. Smith just said. His audience is younger. They're not going to stand for her just avoiding everything. I'm telling you right now. These liberal older white women and these crazy hair bun wearing men, that's not going to get her across the finish line. Scout's honor. Well, I got to get out of here. 3 shows today. Thanks you guys for tuning in at all 3. So happy you made it. Tomorrow, I don't know if I can go 3, but we'll see what happens. But thank you very much. Share this. Let people know what's going on. Let me know in the comments, the other comments, not just the live stuff, if you guys understand and feel that this does expose her like I think it does. Talk to you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Thanks.